everyone, and welcome back to Smart Creations. So this is our second painting video. Our first one was more just an experiment, seeing what people like, and you guys loved it. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do also a little bit in some of them lesson about the principles that this was based on. So today we're going to be making this, and right now you see it backwards, but basically I'm going to be saying why I chose this. So this is great about saying where things are in the picture. So we're going to go into some art terms here. So a great thing about this picture is you can actually clearly see the differences between the layers of how far they are away. So simple, the closer you are, the bigger they are. Like these trees seem smaller than these trees, but in truth, they're actually bigger to your eye. So now what's going to happen is, there's also the amount of detail that's involved and how good you can figure out what it is. So starting from the front, all the things in the front, including the front trees and the lake and the grass or whatever, this is all foreground. The foreground are the things that are closest to you and are the things that you're actually going to do last in your painting. Next, these trees and the mountains are the midground. They're in the middle. They are smaller, but they are normally, mountains and trees are normally what are in the midground in landscapes. Normally there's really, but the midground is basically the most optional of the layers. You don't need a midground depending on what you're doing. And then last is the sky, which is our background. And so the background in this is, I guess, like it's sunrise. There are a lot of different backgrounds you can use. In, like, for example, a portrait, you're normally only going to have a foreground and a background. You're going to have the subject, the person, and then you're also going to have the background. For, like, Mona Lisa, for example, if you take a look at that, it has Mona Lisa and this really detailed background, but it's a background. There's no midground. So foreground, midground, background. I might be using that a lot in this video, and I also might be talking about that in later videos, so just keep that in your head. Useful thing to know. Okay, let's start the time lapse. So all I've done for preparation of this is do the background, light blue, pink toward the middle. Yeah. So I was really an idiot. I ran out of storage in the middle of sketching, and then I started painting and I had no clue. So basically I didn't record me painting for this first half, but you'll see. So I was sketching it out, and then I used this bluish gray for the mountains, and then bluish white, and then a bluish black for the trees. For the trees, I didn't want to add a lot of details, so I just dotted with the paintbrush and made a line, then dotted. So now what I'm going to do is, just to show you what I mean by dotting, I decided to add a few more trees because it looked really uneven with the center. It looked like it was just going straight up. I didn't want that, so I wanted to even it out a little bit. So I'll show you that side. And so what I did is I just took the paintbrush, I went down with it, and then I started adding some trees. And then what we're going to do next is you want to just make these lines as trunks and then just make some dots around it. You can see that's what I'm doing, and yeah, so now I'll show you how to start the foreground. So I was going to do those front trees, but I decided instead to start with the lake so I could let those back trees dry. So the way that I like making lakes, especially this is a great one because it has that nice pink reflection of the sky. So basically you just need to make the right shade of blue. You go across with a big brush, stop toward the middle. Now I ended up not keeping this line because it was too far to the right, but I ended up fixing it. So don't do exactly what I did. Always don't do exactly what I did. And then you make it your own. And then what you can do. Oh, also, I'm gonna put a link to the picture down below in the description. Also, please comment below and tell me what is your favorite thing to paint or draw, and what do you like to do it with. So do you like using pastels, watercolors, acrylics? What do you like? Also, give me some ideas. I love getting ideas from viewers about what I can do next, and all the time I'm with an open mind. You never know. Just keep an eye out. You can press the subscribe button, press the like button. I just messed up a bunch of times, so I just went over it. And then you can subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell so that you can get notified whenever I upload a video. And yeah, so here we go. So this I think was my final one. I'm not completely sure. So all you really want to do is want to take a thinner brush, put that color of the sky of the light, and yes, never mind, I went over it. So, and then you want to sort of follow that color how it would move in that water. And then so I did this, and yeah. Also, and then you can use a dry brush to go over just that area. You can go over it a few times just to make some highlights there, and it comes out really nice. Great technique. I love it. And yeah, so this took a few tries, but I'm gonna just go over the edges with blue so it's a little less straight. And yeah, so that's our lake. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a smaller brush, and then I'm going to start making these little waves in the water. So I'll show you that now. So this is how I make these. Just be careful, don't make them too big, don't overdo it. You will go over them with a dry brush later. So anyway, so you want to make these little like oval lines that are sort of match the color a little bit darker of the water. So like I used a hot pink in the pink area and a dark blue area. And then what I was gonna do is then this just taking me a while to mix the paint. But basically what you can do is so you can do those pink there, and then I took this big dry brush, and then I just went over it a few times. The reason for that is it softens it a bit. Like right now it looks really like bulging, like you need to see it. So basically it didn't work as well for that side. I don't know why, but it just didn't. So yeah, and then that's it. So now we're gonna start the rocks. So now we're gonna start the rocks. I'm just using black. Make a few semicircles with rounded edges. It's really that simple. I just added a few. Don't overdo it. Too much rocks. It's not gonna look as beautiful. So after I did this, if you look in the corner, the bottom left corner of the picture, you'll see that there's this grassy ledge that goes over. It's short, but it's important to the foreground. So we're gonna do that now. So what you can do is take some dark green, mix green and black, and then you can make the hedge. I'll show you how to do that now. So take your green and make this ledge. It's a very simple shape. I'm not gonna make it that complicated. I could, I didn't. It has this tendency to become lighter as you go back and forth on the paint. So I was trying to avoid that, but it was pretty hard. So yeah, just go back and forth with it until you have a solid green that you like. We are going to texture it. So yeah, you're just gonna see me look back just to see how it looks a few times. But yeah, so eventually I got to a point that I liked. And so I added this bush right there. And then I'm just gonna mix some more paint for for the sake of it. And then I'm just gonna make some grass on the top. There's this little like hair of grass that's coming from one point. I took a very small brush, very thin, and then I just textured that bottom. Just add some grass, to make it not look so smooth. And then what you're gonna do is you wanna sort of make that overlay of grass. So I just compared it a bit, figured out that I need a little more, So now I'm gonna make this back of the foreground. That is this little green area that has some trees that are more clear and have more detail in them. So for those trees, I'm going to actually, now instead of dotting, I'm going to actually make lines with them, and they're going to go down and then up. Also, I am going to use, so I'm using an artist knife for this. I don't know how great it came out. I mean, I think it's okay, but it's just a lot easier to use a paintbrush, especially if you don't have an artist knife. So don't go out, to make this painting, you do not need an artist knife. So I just to make that like a little more straight and a little more natural. It's a little less like sloppy, and it looks a little more organic. So now you can sort of see the painting coming together. The last thing I need to do are those trees. Those trees, I used a thin brush just to make lines like we did in the beginning. I actually did not sketch these out. I just went freehand with this. It's not the exact same as the picture, but good enough. So yeah, so you can just watch how I do it. I go down and then up. It's just a pattern that you'll get used to eventually. You'll see it actually got sort of worse as I went along. It's hard to see from that angle the contrast of the colors, but it's definitely there as it dries. So at the end though, I will show you a closer view of it so you sort of have an idea of what it looks like. And so what I can do is I'll now start those leaves on evergreen trees. Leaves on evergreen trees are very, very specific. They are like needles, but from far away, when you can't see all those little details, they really just look like triangles that have like a zigzag. Now, you want to make sure you don't just have a zigzag. When you have a zigzag like that, it will really look way too unnatural. It won't look organic. But if you just go down and up, that's a lot more like those shapes of those leaves. It's a common misconception. Sorry. So you can really see this painting coming together. I was really proud of this at the end. It really captures that foreground background really nicely. And yeah, I'll just let you watch. And so, after I finish these last few trees, I'm just going to sign my name at the bottom. And yeah, so here are the two side by side. I hope you enjoyed. Press the like button, subscribe. It really supports us, and happy painting.